Although Freddy Krueger is definitely at his scariest in Nightmare 2, see my "Is This the Scariest Freddy" video, my overall favorite look and portrayal for the character is actually not Part 2 Freddy, but in fact the version seen in New Nightmare. Also known as Demon Freddy or Real Life Freddy, New Nightmare Freddy wasn't the classic Freddy we all knew and loved, but instead a real-world demon taking on the persona of the in-world fictitious movie version of Freddy, and for me, New Nightmare Freddy seems like the ultimate rendition of the character overall. It was a bit sad to have classic Freddy relegated to a fictitious character for the sake of playing with real-world tropes, because this meant that classic Freddy didn't actually exist within the canon of this film. And it was a bit strange in that this real-world demon Freddy wasn't actually a child killer who was burned alive and reborn as a nightmare-invading madman, but instead an ancient being who simply took on the persona of said fictitious Freddy. I'm making this sound way more confusing than it actually is, I promise. My point is this: the fact that this Freddy doesn't have the backbone of the in-canon events of the previous installments, because in New Nightmare the movies exist as the movies, it doesn't take away from the pulp and punch and visceral quality of the character. He's big, he's mean, he's jacked, he's got white eyes, he's got an organic glove, black leather pants, a big black trench coat, an inverted sweater. I mean, what's not to love about this Freddy? I was slightly saddened to see them return to the fake, fictitious Freddy Krueger of the actual franchise for Freddy vs. Jason, versus keeping the quote-unquote real-world approach of New Freddy alive and well for succeeding sequels, but I can also understand why they did that. Jason wouldn't last 1 minute with real-world Freddy. As a matter of fact, no one would. Hence the return to the Freddy of the original canon. And this is coming from a guy who considers Jason Voorhees to be the best slasher villain of all time. New Nightmare Freddy is just too much of a juggernaut for any other slasher icon. And don't fucking tell me, well, he would be no match for Pinhead. Well, you're fucking right, but you're also a fucking moron because Pinhead is not a slasher icon. But I digress. New Nightmare Freddy is evil, slick, serious, cunning, and I have no doubt that he would whip classic Freddy's ass all over Dreamland if he were to ever somehow square off against him. What do you think?